Here's something most people never calculate. Take $10. Set it aside today, do it again tomorrow, and the day after. Never stop. That is it. That is the entire strategy. And yet, the person who does exactly this, consistently, without drama, without a six-figure salary, without any special financial knowledge, ends up with over $400,000. The person who doesn't, they end up exactly where they are right now, wondering why their paycheck disappears, wondering why wealth feels like something that happens to other people, wondering what they are missing. What they are missing is not income. It is not luck, it is not connections or inheritance or the right moment in the market. What they are missing is the daily frame. And today I am going to show you exactly what that means, why it works, and how to build it into your life, starting with the next 60 seconds after this video ends. Let me start with a calculation that will permanently change how you think about money. Most people think about saving in monthly terms. Save $300 this month. Put aside $500 before the holidays. Try to have something left over by the 30th. This framing destroys wealth before it has a chance to begin. Here is why. Monthly saving depends on what remains. You spend through the month, life happens, and whatever survives the chaos gets saved. Sometimes that is $300. Often it is $40. Frequently, it is nothing. But $10 a day is different. $10 a day is $3, $650 per year. Invested at a 7% average annual return, a conservative estimate based on long-term market history, that becomes roughly $5, $200, after just 3 years. Not life-changing yet, but here is where it gets interesting. By year 10, your $36,500 in total contributions has grown to approximately $52,000. By year 15, you are approaching $100,000. By year 20, you are looking at over $190,000. And if you increase your daily contribution by just $5 every 2 years, going from $10 to $15 to $20 to $25, the 20-year number crosses $400,000. $400,000 from $10 a day. From an amount most people spend without noticing at a coffee shop, a lunch counter, a checkout line. The math is not magic, it is compounding. And compounding rewards one thing above everything else. Starting today. Not next month. Not after the raise. Not when things settle down. Today. Now, before I show you the exact system, I need to address the objection that is forming in your mind right now. You are thinking, $10 a day is nothing. My problems are bigger than $10 a day. I have debt, I have rent, I have real expenses that $10 cannot touch. I hear that. And I want you to hold that thought for exactly 30 seconds while I tell you what $10 a day is actually doing. It is not primarily building wealth in the early months. That comes later. What $10 a day is doing in the beginning is something far more valuable. It is building identity. Every single day that you make that transfer, you are casting a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. The person who transfers $10 today is not the same person who transfers $10 on day 90. By day 90, something has shifted. The behavior has become part of how you see yourself. You are not someone trying to save money. You are someone who saves money. Every day. Automatically. Without negotiation. That identity is worth more than the $900 you have accumulated by that point. Because that identity does not stop at $10. It grows. It demands more. It becomes the foundation that every other financial habit gets built on. This is why the daily frame matters more than the amount. So here is the system, 5 components. Each one takes less than 5 minutes. Together they run in under 30 minutes a day. And together they produce outcomes that monthly budgeting has never and will never produce. Component 1, the morning number check. Every morning, before you open a single app, before you check messages, before you look at anything else, open your financial app and look at 3 numbers. Your checking account balance, your total debt balance, your investment or savings balance. Do not analyze, do not plan, do not stress. Just look. 60 seconds. That is the entire habit. This sounds almost insultingly simple. The impact is not. Here is the psychology. When your brain observes something daily, it classifies that thing as important. Numbers you check once a month feel abstract and distant, like someone else's problem. Numbers you check every single morning feel immediate and real. Your subconscious begins optimizing for those numbers even when you are not consciously thinking about them. The morning timing is not accidental either. Starting your day with financial awareness creates a thread that runs through every decision that follows. When you have just seen your debt balance, the impulse buy at lunch feels different. When you have just watched your investment number tick upward, packing your own lunch connects to something tangible and real. The people who avoid checking their accounts are not irresponsible. They are stressed. The numbers feel like judgment rather than information, so they look away. And the debt grows, and the savings stagnate, and the avoidance deepens. The morning check breaks that cycle. After 2 or 3 weeks of daily observation, the numbers lose their emotional charge. They become data, and data can be worked with. Start tomorrow. Set an alarm tonight labeled Money Check. 60 seconds. 3 numbers. Nothing else required. Component 2, the daily capture transfer. This is where the $10 actually moves. Set up a separate savings or investment account, not your checking account, not an account you touch regularly, and configure an automatic daily transfer into it. $10 to start. The amount matters less than the mechanism. Here is what most people get wrong about saving. They treat it as what happens after spending. They earn, they spend, and they save whatever remains. This guarantees that saving comes last, and things that come last almost never happen consistently. The daily capture flips this completely. The $10 moves first, before coffee, before lunch, before the random charges that accumulate throughout the day. Wealth gets captured before spending has a chance to consume it. The daily structure also solves a problem that monthly transfers create. A monthly transfer of $300 is an event. It creates a visible dip in your account. Your brain notices. Loss aversion fires. And when the month feels tight, that transfer gets skipped, just this once, which becomes twice, which becomes a habit of skipping. A daily transfer of $10 is nearly invisible. Your balance barely moves. The psychological resistance never activates. The transfer happens quietly, automatically, without drama. And yet, after 30 days, you have captured $300, the same amount, achieved with none of the willpower battles. After 1 year, $3, $650 sits in an account that did not exist before. An account that is not for bills, not for emergencies, not for anything except building your future. Now, here is the part that changes everything. As your income grows, you increase the daily amount, not dramatically, not all at once, by $5. Then another $5. The increment is small enough that you barely notice it, but the compounding impact over 10 and 20 years is the difference between a comfortable cushion and genuine financial freedom. Component 3, the evening spending review. Every evening, take 2 minutes and review what you spent that day. Open your banking app or your credit card app. Scroll through today's transactions. For each one, ask yourself a single question. Was this intentional or reactive? Intentional spending was planned, it was necessary, you knew it was coming and you chose it. Reactive spending happened in a moment. It was emotional, impulsive, or automatic, triggered by boredom, stress, social pressure, or habit. Do not judge either category, just notice. This is the habit that monthly budgets attempt to replace but never can. When you review 30 days of transactions, the emotional context is gone. You cannot remember what you were feeling when you bought most of those things. The spending pattern is invisible because the signal has decayed. When you review today's transactions, you remember exactly what happened. You know you were stressed after that call. You know you were bored scrolling after dinner. You know the advertisement caught you at the wrong moment. The reactive spending pattern reveals itself within 1 week of daily review. And once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. You know your triggers. You know the situations that make you vulnerable. And that awareness alone is worth more than any budgeting app or spending category. 2 minutes, every evening, no judgment, just observation. Component 4, the daily learning block. This one will feel out of place in a video about saving $10 a day. Stay with me. Every day, spend 15 minutes learning something that increases your earning capacity. Read about your industry, study negotiation. Learn a technical skill that the market values. Understand how businesses work. Develop expertise that makes you harder to replace and easier to promote. Here is why this belongs in this system. Your daily $10 capture is limited by your current income. If $10 a day is already a stretch, the compounding math works. But slowly. The faster path to $400,000 is not just saving more of what you earn. It is also earning more to save. 15 minutes a day compounds into 90 hours of skill development per year. 90 hours. That is more than 2 full work weeks of additional education, accumulated in fragments that fit into any schedule. Consider 2 people starting the same job at the same salary. One spends spare time on entertainment. The other spends 15 minutes a day on deliberate skill development. After 10 years, the first person has the skills they started with. The second has accumulated over 900 hours of additional capability. The income trajectories of these 2 people diverge dramatically. One gets passed over. One gets promoted. One stays in the same role. One builds the income that makes $10 a day feel like $50 a day. The investment in learning is not separate from the wealth-building system. It is the fuel that accelerates it. 15 minutes. Consistent slot. Protect it. Component 5. The evening planning session. 3 minutes before bed. That is all this takes. Look at tomorrow. Identify any spending decisions you will face. A lunch out with colleagues. A store you will pass. A subscription renewal coming through. A moment you know from experience tends to trigger reactive spending. Now make the decision in advance. This is called implementation intention, and the research behind it is striking. People who decide in advance exactly when, where, and how they will behave are dramatically more likely to follow through than people who rely on in-the-moment willpower. Vague intention. I will try to spend less tomorrow. Implementation intention. Tomorrow I will bring lunch from home, skip the afternoon coffee, and transfer my daily $10 before I check any messages. The specificity transforms an abstract goal into a concrete plan. Your brain knows exactly what to do when the moment arrives. Decision fatigue is reduced because the decisions have already been made. The mental energy that would have gone into in-the-moment negotiation is freed for everything else. 3 minutes of planning prevents hours of poor decisions. The leverage is extraordinary. Now let me show you how these 5 components work as a single system across a full day. Morning begins with the 60-second number check. You see your checking balance, your debt balance, your investment balance. Financial awareness is activated. The thread begins. Your daily transfer happens automatically in the background, but your morning observation connects you to it. You see the investment number. You know it moved $10 closer to where you want it to be. Throughout the day, the morning awareness runs quietly underneath your decisions. The lunch choice. The impulse at the checkout. The upgrade offer. Each one connects back to the numbers you saw that morning, not through willpower. Through awareness. Your 15-minute learning block happens whenever you have designated morning commute, lunch break, evening wind down. The specific time matters less than the consistency. The knowledge accumulates regardless. Evening brings the 2-minute spending review, today's transactions. Intentional or reactive, patterns noted. Then the 3-minute planning session, tomorrow's decisions made tonight, intention set, system ready to run again. Total time, approximately 23 minutes. Total annual time investment, roughly 140 hours. There is almost no other use of 140 hours per year that produces comparable financial returns. Now let me address why this system succeeds where other approaches fail. Monthly budgets fail because the feedback loop is too long. You make decisions throughout 30 days and review the damage once at the end. By then, the connection between behavior and outcome is completely lost. The budget becomes a report card of failure rather than a tool for change. Annual financial planning fails because life moves faster than annual cycles. The goals you set in January become irrelevant by April. The motivation present during planning evaporates within weeks. The plan sits untouched while daily life continues without reference to it. Daily habits succeed because they create tight feedback loops, and they compound relentlessly. Each day connects to the one before and the one after. The system self-corrects continuously because you are observing and adjusting daily rather than waiting for the end of the month to discover something went wrong. Daily habits also survive disruption better than any other approach. If something interrupts your monthly budget review, you might not return to it for 3 months. If something interrupts a daily habit, you miss one day and resume the next morning. No single day carries excessive weight. No single missed day becomes a reason to abandon the system. Let me give you the implementation sequence so you do not make the most common mistake, trying to change everything at once. Week 1, implement only the morning number check. 60 seconds, 3 numbers every morning, nothing else, just this. Week 2, add the daily capture transfer. Set up automatic daily transfers of whatever amount feels genuinely painless. Continue the morning check. Week 3, add the evening spending review, 2 minutes each evening. Continue everything from weeks 1 and 2. Week 4, add the 15-minute learning block. Choose a consistent time and protect it. Continue all previous habits. Week 5, add the evening planning session. All 5 components now run together. This staggered approach exists for one reason. Habits that are built one at a time stick. Habits that are attempted all at once collapse by week 3. The slow build is faster in the long run because the result is a system that actually persists, rather than a system that looked impressive for 10 days. Now let me show you what this system actually produces across different time horizons. Starting with a daily capture of $10, increasing by $5 every 2 years. Year 1, $3, 650 captured. Approximately $3, 900 with investment returns. Year 5, $21, 900 captured. Approximately $27,000 with returns. Year 10, $54, 750 captured. Approximately $73,000 with returns. Year 15, you are capturing $25 per day by this point. Total accumulated value approaches $175,000. Year 20, daily capture has grown to $35. Total accumulated value exceeds $400,000. These numbers assume nothing exceptional, no windfall, no inheritance, no market miracle. Just consistent daily capture and the math of compounding doing what compounding does. Now factor in the learning habit. If 15 minutes of daily skill development increases your income by even $5,000 per year by year 5, a conservative estimate, that additional income, invested daily, accelerates every number above. Now factor in the spending awareness from the evening review. If identifying reactive spending prevents even $10 of unnecessary daily expenditure, that is another $3, 650 per year, flowing into your capture account rather than out of it. The combined effect of all 5 components is not additive, it is multiplicative. Each habit reinforces the others. The awareness from the morning check feeds the discipline of the daily transfer. The pattern recognition from the evening review informs the planning session. The learning habit grows the income that the capture habit accumulates. The realistic 20-year outcome for someone implementing this complete system is not $400,000. It is closer to $600,000 to $800,000. From habits requiring 23 minutes a day, from $10 to start. Here is the deeper transformation that the numbers do not capture. People who build daily financial habits develop an identity, not a strategy, not a plan. An identity. They become someone who builds wealth, not someone trying to, someone who does. This shift matters more than any specific tactic because identity drives behavior automatically. When your identity is wealth builder, spending decisions change without effort. The question stops being, can I afford this, and starts being, does this align with who I am? The wealth builder identity makes frugality feel natural rather than restrictive. It makes investing feel exciting rather than deferred gratification. It makes financial progress feel inevitable rather than hopeful. And this identity forms through daily action. Each morning check reinforces it. Each daily transfer confirms it. Each evening review strengthens it. Each learning session develops it. Each planning session expresses it. After 100 days of these habits, you are no longer someone attempting to build wealth. You are someone who builds wealth every day, without negotiation. Let me leave you with one final observation about why right now, specifically 2026, is an unusual moment to begin this system. Technology has removed nearly all friction from every habit I have described. Automatic transfers happen instantly and for free. Banking apps show balances in 3 seconds. Learning resources are abundant and often free. Calendar reminders eliminate the need to remember anything. 20 years ago, implementing this daily system required manual bank visits, paper records, library trips, and physical planning systems. The friction was real, and it stopped people. Today, the only friction is psychological. The habits take under half an hour combined. The mechanical execution requires almost no effort. The only barrier is whether you decide. Economic uncertainty makes this moment more important, not less. Inflation, market volatility, job market disruption. The future feels less predictable than previous decades. Daily habits provide resilience that point-in-time planning cannot. The person with strong daily wealth-building habits adapts automatically to whatever changes. Their system continues producing results regardless of what markets, politics, or technology do. Here is what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not Monday. Right now, in the next 60 seconds. Set an alarm for tomorrow morning. Label it money check. That is it. One alarm, 10 seconds of action. But that alarm creates accountability. Tomorrow morning when it sounds, you will remember this video. You will open your app. You will look at your 3 numbers. The first habit begins. Most people watching this will find the ideas interesting and do nothing. A year from now, they will be in roughly the same position. A small number will set the alarm tonight. They will start the morning check tomorrow. They will add habits over the following weeks. A year from now, they will have accumulated thousands of dollars and something more valuable, the identity of someone who builds wealth daily. 5 years from now, the gap between these two groups will be significant. 10 years from now, it will be enormous. 20 years from now, one group will have $400,000, and the other will still be wondering what they are missing. $10 a day, 23 minutes, 5 habits, compound results that make staying poor genuinely difficult. The system is yours. The alarm takes 10 seconds. What happens next is entirely up to you. Let me leave you with one final observation about why right now, specifically 2026, is an unusual moment to begin this system. Technology has removed nearly all friction from every habit I have described. Automatic transfers happen instantly and for free. Banking apps show balances in 3 seconds. Learning resources are abundant and often free. Calendar reminders eliminate the need to remember anything. 20 years ago, implementing this daily system required manual bank visits, paper records, library trips, and physical planning systems. The friction was real, and it stopped people. Today, the only friction is psychological. The habits take under half an hour combined. The mechanical execution requires almost no effort. The only barrier is whether you decide. Economic uncertainty makes this moment more important, not less. Inflation, market volatility, job market disruption. The future feels less predictable than previous decades. Daily habits provide resilience that point-in-time planning cannot. The person with strong daily wealth-building habits adapts automatically to whatever changes. Their system continues producing results regardless of what markets, politics, or technology do. Here is what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not Monday. Right now, in the next 60 seconds. Set an alarm for tomorrow morning. Label it Money Check. That is it. One alarm, 10 seconds of action. But that alarm creates accountability. Tomorrow morning when it sounds, you will remember this video. You will open your app. You will look at your 3 numbers. The first habit begins. Most people watching this will find the ideas interesting and do nothing. A year from now, they will be in roughly the same position. A small number will set the alarm tonight. They will start the morning check tomorrow. They will add habits over the following weeks. A year from now, they will have accumulated thousands of dollars and something more valuable, the identity of someone who builds wealth daily. 5 years from now, the gap between these two groups will be significant. 10 years from now, it will be enormous. 20 years from now, one group will have $400,000, and the other will still be wondering what they are missing. $10 a day. 23 minutes. 5 habits. Compound results that make staying poor genuinely difficult. The system is yours. The alarm takes 10 seconds. What happens next is entirely up to you.